Hello, welcome to the When I Have Spare Time podcast. My name is Frank, and I'll be sitting here speaking to you, talking to you for a few minutes, as usual. Wearing clothes. I'm wearing a EXID pullover. No big deal. So you guys remember, and I know you don't, so I'm just gonna say it. When the conflict between Russia and Ukraine started, or whatever, when Russia invaded Ukraine, whatever. Russia was bombing, places in Ukraine, and they were using cluster munitions, which I'm not a war expert, a weapons expert, whatever. But anyway, it's a type of bomb that it's a warhead that can be placed on a missile, it can be used in artillery, whatever. It's it blows up in the sky, and then it releases several little bombs that blow up, so it blows up over a wider area. Apparently, I didn't know this. Apparently, cluster munitions are illegal in war, which I didn't know war had rules. But anyway, so the America sent some representative over to, I believe, like NATO, and they were talking, disavowing Russia for using cluster munitions. Some grandstanding speech. And then whatever. It's been a while. It's been like a year, right? So like a year later, America is now giving Ukraine cluster munitions so they can use it on Russia. So so the rules matter when it's Russia, but now that it's Ukraine, the rules don't matter. I just think the whole thing's stupid. And the reason why cluster munitions are outlawed, which once again makes no sense. I don't understand rules in war, but anyway, they're outlawed because of the increased civilian casualties involved with cluster munitions because they spread out over a much larger distance. I just the whole thing, America being hypocritical. Well, that just comes with the territory. That's just another Tuesday. But the thing I don't understand is that there's rules in war, or like how they say like everything's fair or it's all fair in love and war or whatever. Meaning like, you know, it's war. The people who play by a rule book are the ones that lose. Same thing with love, which I think love is the wrong term. I think this is just in terms of men. Like you want to get laid, right? Okay, well, being a simp doesn't get you laid. Being a dick does. Being a jerk, being an asshole. You know, you're gonna follow some rules like being nice, being some being some simp pussy. Those guys don't get laid. Those guys subscribe to OnlyFans. Those guys become like a sub, like a like a level 5 sub on on Twitch or whatever. Those guys don't get laid. You know, the guy who cheats on the chick, that guy gets laid. The guy who's a deadbeat and takes a woman's money, that guy gets laid. The guy who's abusive, that guy get laid. You know, Once again, there's no rules. I saw a video where Russia released some prisoners of war. These guys look like they hadn't eaten food in a month. These guys were emaciated. They're like, how could they do that? Well, I mean, what did you think Russia was gonna do? Keep the prisoners at a 5-star hotel? Give them like three, like 8-course meals a day? No, it's Russia. What do you think? I just it blows my mind that you think a country. that invaded another country is going to follow rules. No, they're going to like starve all the prisoners they have and beat them so when they release them, they can't suit back up. All those soldiers they released, none of them are going back on the front lines. None of them. Like those guys look, they look. I don't. It, they just look like they ate once. Supposedly, like they were in captivity for a month. They look like they ate once. I mean, they were emaciated. Like a lot of them look like they've been beaten up. So I don't know. Like this whole concept of this rules in war and everyone having fake outrage when America's it just blows my mind. But it is what it is. I heard a really weird story about a Texas man who had been missing for 8 years, and apparently he wasn't missing. He was, I guess, a prisoner in his house, and his mom drugged him and was using him as a sex slave. Is this real? I mean, when I sorry, 8 years ago when this person was 17, his mom filed a missing persons report. Okay, but he really wasn't missing. He was at his mom's house. She drugged him, kept him a prisoner for years, and abused him. I mean, what are women doing? Why are I blame feminism for women trying to top guys at just the subhuman atrocities of our society. Like when you hear about someone being kidnapped or whatever, held against their will, whatever, missing for 8 years, but they're really locked up in a house. The first thing you think of, oh, he. That's something guys do. Like that guy in Ohio who had a basement full of women he kept prisoner. He like kidnapped like six. I don't know. I forgot. Like was it four? Yeah, I think he kidnapped four chicks, kept them in his basement in cages. Like you don't expect a woman, but apparently women are, you know, feminism. Women are doing it too now. Well, if men could do it, I could do it. You don't want. I can't. I refuse to believe that story's real. I just can't picture a mom like holding their son hostage, keeping him drugged, and sexually molesting him for 8 years. Like they gotta make a movie out of it, or release a porn parody so I can see what happened for research purposes. You know, I gotta see the porn parody of that. Call it I don't know. Instead of 8 years, because that's how long he was held in captive. Call it 8 strokes. You know, I'd watch it with the sound down though. I don't want to hear the bad acting. Yeah, I don't want to hear it. Let me go, mom. Hey, no, what are you doing? No, that's weird. It takes that step, bro. I'm stuck, and then like makes it like 10 more times weird, uncomfortable, cringe, and wrong, and just plain wrong. The news never has anything good on. Is it because society never does anything good? I'm starting to think that's why. Really starting to think that's why the news like like you never heard a news story, mom, um, like whatever, like buys son uh 8 video games and praises him. No, it's holds him captive for 8 years and abuses it. It's like it's you never. Well, would that even be news? I don't know, but it's just you never hear good news. But I'm assuming that's because people who watch the news only want to hear bad stuff. Because in the end, it's all about ratings. So if positive news stories got ratings, then yeah, they would well make up some good news because they make up a lot of shit. And hell, like, you don't even know if this story is true about this person being kidnapped and held hostage. You have no idea if it's true. That's another thing. I'm just repeating what I saw. It doesn't mean it's true. I mean, I'm not saying I believe it because I find it hard to believe. I don't know. It's because like a lot of these news stories, they put them out there so you'll get distracted from that. Like they found cocaine in the White House. I mean, isn't that? I think finding cocaine in the White House is a much bigger story than us sending cluster munitions to Ukraine, than a guy who was held hostage by his mom. I think cocaine and put it this way: if Trump was the president, which well, he technically is the president, Trump won. If Trump was in office right now and they found cocaine in the Oval Office, oh, it'd be the biggest story ever. If Trump Jr. was doing the stuff um that Biden Jr. is doing, I know his name is not Biden Jr. But doing all the stuff that laptop Biden's doing, I mean, it would be the biggest news story ever. And I forgot Joe Biden's son's name, but crackhead Biden. Okay, if Trump Jr. was doing coke and hookers, it would be nonstop big story, and it would like be another excuse to try to impeach Trump because Trump Jr. had a laptop and blah 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 blah. But I don't know. It's just weird how. Well, I guess that's not weird, but the media it just picks and chooses who to attack, who to praise, who to ignore. That and that's another thing too. Like the current presidential candidate is Trump, and he does speeches all the time and does pep rallies all the time. It never gets reported, you know. But I know what Joe Biden's favorite ice cream is. So I don't know. It's weird. And yeah, I'm going to wait for this story to mature. The mother kidnapping story to see if it's real because I just don't think it's real. And then like when they showed the guy, he had like a blanket over him. But then they showed a picture of him when he was a minor, which makes no sense. I don't know. It's weird. It's like you show the past picture of him, but you don't show the present picture of him. You cover him up, which makes me think it's fake. I don't know. Maybe I'm just paranoid. I could, well, I did some drugs. I'm not proud of this. Anyway, I've said enough. You guys have a good one. I'll talk to you later. Peace.